Welcome back to Firemite Coding. This is part 3 of our MDM breakdown, and today we're moving into the third column, the amount and or complexity of data to be reviewed and analyzed. This is the column that stresses out the most beginners, but after today, you won't be one of them.
Yes, the third column stresses me out.
If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, pause this video and watch those first. They walk you through the entire second column of the MDM table. Now this video builds onto that. Now is the time to turn to the MDM table in your CPT book. Column 3 is all about how much information the provider had to look at, review, order, or analyze to make the medical decision. Labs, imaging, chart, external records, and independent historians. Everything the provider touches to understand the patient goes right here. You see this little asterisk under the column title? It says each unique test, order, or document contributes to the combination of 2 or the combination of 3 in category 1 below.
What?
Here's what it actually means. Each unique test equals 1. Each unique order equals 1. Each independent historian, well, that's a little different. A physician can contact multiple independent historians, but the total count remains a single 1 point.
Okay, I think I might get it. Maybe not.
No problems, Rookie Rhonda. Let's say a doctor orders a complete blood count. That's 1 point. Then the doctor reviews that lab. That's another 1 point. Let's say the doctor also reviews a cardiology note. That's another 1 point. Those ones are what build the combination of the 2 or 3 that you see in the table.
So, all of these little pieces matter? You just add up what you have until you hit category 1, category 2, or category 3 requirements?
That's right, Rookie Rhonda. But let's actually break down each category. Let's start with the low-level MDM data first. This has the limited data. Limited data must meet either category 1 requirements or category 2 requirements. In category 1, you need any 2 of these that are listed. It could be review of prior external notes, review of test results, or ordering tests. An example for meeting the requirements for a low or limited data would be, let's say a doctor ordered X-ray imaging and then they reviewed the results of the X-ray. That gives the physician the 2 that they need for category 1. Category 2 is the assessment requiring an independent historian.
History?
An independent historian is someone giving necessary history when the patient can't reasonably provide it for themselves, or is when a physician determines that a second source of information is necessary for confirmation. For example, a parent speaking for their child, a caregiver speaking for a dementia patient, or a spouse giving history and details about their spouse's symptoms.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Now here's a quick side note. To count towards the limited data, the medical record must document that a historian was involved, the reason why an independent historian was even needed, and the specific information that was gathered from the historian.
Okay, so limited data is literally just give me any 2 things or use an independent historian. Easy.
Great job, Rookie Rhonda. Now let's look at the moderate level of data. Moderate data must meet one of the 3 categories. Category 1, or Category 2, or Category 3. Category 1 for the moderate level is very similar to Category 1 of the low level, but now you need any 3 of the following below. That would be review of prior external notes, review of test results, ordering tests, and an assessment requiring an independent historian. An example for meeting the requirements for moderate data is a doctor ordering an MRI. Then let's say they ordered a genetic test. Then they spoke to a police officer about a motor vehicle accident. That gives the physician the 3 that they needed for Category 1. Category 2 is an independent interpretation of tests. This is when the provider personally interprets a test that someone else already interpreted, and they document their own interpretation, rather than solely relying on another specialist's written report. For example, an orthopedist independently reviews CT images from an outside facility, and then they notate a small hematoma. Or an ER physician personally reviews an EKG tracing and then notates ST elevations. Then they consult with the cardiology department. Category 3 is a discussion with an external provider or appropriate source. A discussion with an external provider is a discussion with a physician, qualified healthcare professional, or another appropriate source who is not in the same group practice or is of a different specialty or subspecialty. An appropriate source is a non-healthcare source who provides medically relevant information that is necessary to patient management. An example of a discussion with an external provider would be, let's say, a primary care provider calls a cardiologist for advice, or a clinic provider who consults with a patient's psychiatric nurse practitioner. Now, an example of an appropriate source would be a lawyer and a physician discussing a court order regarding a patient's guardianship or the limits of their power of attorney. Another example would be a doctor and case manager discussing a patient's immediate post-op needs and the next steps for recovery. It is important to know that family members and informal caregivers do not count as an appropriate source. They're more known as an independent historian.
So, for moderate MDM, you need 3 from Category 1, or 1 item from Category 2, or 1 item from Category 3.
You got it right, Rookie Rhonda.
Now, what about this high-level MDM?
High-level MDM is an extensive amount of data. Extensive data is very similar to moderate level data and has the same categories. The difference is that extensive data must meet 2 of the 3 categories. This means that you can have a combination of Category 1 and Category 2, or you can have a combination of Category 1 and Category 3, or you can have a combination of Category 2 and Category 3. An example for meeting the requirements for a high extensive data would be, let's say, a primary care provider. They review 2 external physician notes and they order 2 tests. That's 4 points right there for Category 1. On top of that, they perform and document an independent interpretation of a patient's chest x-ray image. That takes care of Category 2. So that's Category 1 plus the Category 2, so that takes care of the requirements for a high extensive data.
So High MDM over here saying, I don't need 1 category fulfilled. I need 2 categories fulfilled.
That's right, Rookie Rhonda.
Wait a minute. Pause for a second. I can literally feel some of that information leaving my head. Can you please do a quick summary before it's all gone?
I got you, Rookie Rhonda. Let's lock it in with a quick recap so it actually sticks. Feel free to screenshot this. Low MDM level, you need any 2 tasks from Category 1 or use Category 2 alone. Moderate level, you need any 3 tasks from Category 1 or use Category 2 alone or use Category 3 alone. High MDM level, you need 2 categories working together. That could be Category 1 and Category 2, or Category 1 and Category 3, or Category 2 and Category 3. And That's the end of part 3, the amount and complexity of data column. Now you know how to count each unique test, each order, each document, and how those category 1, category 2, and category 3 items build low, moderate to high MDM.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I was actually afraid of the data column. I can feel my brain being activated.
That's great, Rookie Rhonda. You're really building your MDM confidence. In part 4, we cover the risk column. This is where everything gets real. Medication risk, severe symptoms, procedures, hospital level decisions, and more. You don't want to miss that. Turn on notifications so it finds you. I'll see you in the next video.